subscribe, all that good stuff. And we have a decent card this past Saturday.
Yeah, not bad.
UFC Vegas 104. I'll say we got some good finishes. I'll say that.
Definitely. It started out really hot.
Yeah, the prelims, we always, you never know. Sometimes we're like, hey, these prelims sucked. Made me want to sleep. And sometimes we say, hey, these prelims were awesome. And I feel like it's usually on cards that people doubt, I guess. Like, a lot of people were saying, like, oh, this card's so trash. I'm not watching this show. Blah, 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 blah. Well,
yeah,
we watch every show because we have to. But, hey, most of the time these cards, they turn out at least decent.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes the lower level fights are sometimes the ones that have the most crazy finishes because sometimes they're just like swinging crazy and they're a little bit less technical. But it's like that's sometimes more entertaining if they're going to be getting finishes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I like to see these people, obviously not all because some are known, but a lot of these guys and girls are, maybe one or two fights into the UFC, and it's fun to see their baseline, and then eventually they'll, get bigger, but it's fun to see them when they start because you could say, hey, I watched them from their first fight, and now they're a star eventually.
Yeah, 100%. You can see how their style evolves and how they get better or not. And it also helps with predictions, The more you watch a fighter, the more, comfortable predicting them. I feel like this card was, one of those cards where you kind of go in thinking this is going to be shit, and it ends up being a lot better than you expect. I don't know if that's just because the expectations come in so low where all they need is a few knockouts and you're pretty much happy. But I do think that this one was better than expected. And even if I wasn't expecting it to be good, I still think it was good. So shout out to all the fighters. And can we please, I know that they're not going to do this because they hate listening to the fans and hate having the fighters fight in front of crowds. But please, let's get these guys out of the Apex. All those finishes in front of a crowd would have been way better. And I'm like, the UFC is posting about it. They're like, and they say the fights at the Apex are bad. I'm like, no one's really saying that. I'm like, they're saying that they should be in front of a crowd and they could be even better.
Yeah.
I'm like,
exactly.
It's like the issue is never the fighters. It's like the issue is just the really silent environment it's in.
Yeah, if a fight's bad, it's going to be bad in front of fans or no fans. But the point is, it's better if it is in front of fans because the reaction. I mean, who cares about a silent fight?
Yeah, and fighters deserve it. It's like they deserve to be in front of a huge crowd. Like when they picture their career, they're not picturing I'm going to be fighting in front of no fans in a warehouse while being in the top promotion. It's like, okay, maybe if you're coming up, that's what you expect on a regional scene. I'm fighting in a small little venue, but not at the best of the best UFC. Come on. It's just a little bit sad. And then they'll still be giving them 50K bonuses, dude. I'm like, I'm sick of all the begging on TV, bro. They're like, 50K bonus, please, 50K. I'm like, bro, I'm sick of seeing these guys fight to the death, basically, and then beg for 50K. I'm like, bro, this is just getting sad. I'm like, please give them more money, bro. I'm like, how much cost cutting do you guys need? You do it in the Apex. You refuse to boost the bonus that you give them forever. It's like 50 G's. Connor was saying that back in the day. I'm like, come on, bro. Connor's a freaking well past his prime now, and we're still at the same freaking bonus. I'm like, come on, and they want to start doing less. I'm like, how are you guys going backwards? I'm like, you guys used to tour all the time in shows all over the place. Now you guys are like, oh, we prefer to save money for the shareholders, so we're just going to only do the Apex. So, I'm like, bro, come on. Yeah, that is not what the best promotion does.
If they do Apex, which is cost-cutting, cost-saving, then up the bonuses on Apex cards then. If you're saving money on venues, then up the bonus.
For real. They're like, no, that's a little too much money for the fighters. No.
Insane.
I know. It's like, imagine any other sport doing this. You're at the top level. You're going to go play in the G League Arena, Lakers, because it's not on it's not a big game, so we're just going to go on the G League save some money, guys, I guess. Even though you're making money from the ticket sales, I'm like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
But yeah, it's just
especially UFC. The ticket sales are outrageous. The ticket prices are outrageous.
I know. They're like, they wouldn't be able to sell it out. I'm like, bro, if they actually charged a normal amount, they'd definitely sell it out. I'm like, there's so many UFC fans, dude. And it's like, come on, maybe charge reasonable prices and it'll sell out. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, UFC, stop cheaping out on us.
Please.
And the fighters, stop cheaping out on the fighters. That's who really deserve it.
Agreed. We do have a fun card today, but before we get into that, I do have an ad read. We have a sponsor here on Bodyslam. So this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of non-psychedelic but 4 powerful mushroom adjacents. It is lion's mane, which increases focus, memory, neuroplasticity, and makes it easier to form new patterns and learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn a new move, it will actually stick in your head rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system. And we all know you need that at those nasty-ass gym mats. Oh, yeah. And on top of that, it has 12 grams of protein. So go to eatshroombar.com and use code BODYSLAM at checkout for 25% off your first order. Now, we have a card to get into, UFC Vegas 104. We did not so hot this week on predictions. So, as you can see, here's the prelim.
Rough start.
Women's MMA is certainly a thing.
We're not good at predicting it, I guess.
And I do not mean that as a bad thing, because the fights, finishes, whatever, were good. But apparently, we can't predict. So, we kick off the card with Yanesi Dubin, who was undefeated coming in at, I think, 6-0 against Carly Judas. This fight did not last long. Carly, she looked solid. She looked decent on the feet. She looked better than decent on the feet. She looked good on the feet. And then she finished Dubin in round 1 with a nasty head kick. We kicked off the card with a head kick, and it was great, but it's not who we picked. But it was a great finish. Kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, she just whipped that head kick up there and caught her right in the face, and it was over. It was, props to her. It was really good.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful, dude. Like you said, she was looking really crispy out there. That's her nickname. And the striking was on point, and I was wondering how she would do in there against someone who has some knockout power herself in Dubin, where Judas has been hit with over 100 strikes in both of her UFC fights before this. One of the UFC fights and the Dana White Contender Series fight. So, yeah, I was a little worried for Judas coming in here, where Judas has taken some punishment in her fights. But, man, she showed that she just was a level above of Dubin, and Dubin was not ready for the UFC yet. She did look good in the Contender Series, but 0-1 in the UFC now. So she's going to have to look to bounce back. But Judas, definitely the best I've seen her look by far. I was a little worried with her record, about to be 3-3 if she took an L. Like, I don't know if you can really be selling a fighter in the UFC with that sort of record. But now she's 4-2. 2 wins above 500, so she's a little more safe now. So I feel like that'll probably be a nice little weight off of her. And, I'm excited to see her next fight after that performance, because her striking was really good. And, she made it look somewhat easy, honestly. Dubin was kind of swinging crazy in there, but never really connected much. And Judas lined up those kicks, and it was all she wrote.
Yeah, and then after, on the not the post-fight interview, but the why am I blanking? The scrum, the media scrum. She said that she would like to be on whatever card Dustin Poirier is retiring on, because of she's from Louisiana as well. So if that card is going to be in Louisiana, she wants on it. So, hey, after that head kick, I think, yes.
Yeah.
Probably
give her what she deserves
it. Exactly.
Yeah. I want to ask questions.
So I agree with her there. I mean, again, a fast finish to kick off the card. It wasn't really much. I mean,
great start.
Didn't really even get anything off. She got kicked in the face.
Yeah, she looked not ready for sure.
So yeah, we both obviously, as you could see, picked Dubin, and we lost that one. We're starting the card off 0-1.
Yeah.
We then move on to our second, and I think
this is even more surprising.
Second women's fight of the night. Shit.
Not off to a good start for us. You could say that.
Yeah, Priscilla Cachoeira defeated Hilson Nunes in round 1 via KO. Again, this was
insane.
Really
back-to-back KOs.
Yeah, except this time Nunes at least tried. They were both going back and forth.
Yeah.
They were going for it. They were punching. Nunes was, striking back, throwing counter punches. It kind of turned into a little bit of a brawl. And then Cachoeira pulled her in to a clinch position from the back of her head and just pulled her right into an uppercut.
Nasty.
Initially, before
almost Justin Gaethje
Yeah, exactly. Before I saw the replay, though, I was so confused because she just threw it up there it was short. It was a very short uppercut, and she just dropped. What just happened?
Yeah,
dropped like that, and so it was just happening. Yeah, and then I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "What?" And then I saw the replay. She does get a little short uppercut in there, and she just flatlined her. She fell right on her face, and it was done. I was like, "Holy shit!" She just knocked her clean out.
It's actually crazy how it was literally pretty much exactly like the Gaethje one on Fiziev, where he dropped him, but he didn't get the finish in that one. But it's clearly, Priscilla did. So she's got Gaethje maybe need to take some notes for her. But in all seriousness, very impressive performance. Nunes definitely was a little bit too predictable with her guard, her high guard, and just ducking into punches. So. Yeah, definitely. I think that's 3 losses in a row for Nunes now. So maybe needs to go back to the regional scene, get back in the win column because she came in pretty hot. I think she only had 1 loss before this 3-loss winning streak. So 3L losing streak. So she's going to need to probably get cut, unfortunately for her. But I think she is the sort of fighter to go back and maybe get a few knockouts and she could come back. But it's going to be tough after that. Because that was a bad one. She is 31, so it's not like she's super young.
Especially in these women's divisions, they're looking to keep people around. So they cut you, you go and get 1 or 2 wins, and they'll bring you back probably. So
we've seen it before.
So they're certainly looking, and I have to check here. Yeah, Priscilla. And Carly both got performance bonuses for their
well deserved.
Yeah, so that's good. Actually, looking at it, every single performance bonus was on the prelims. Yeah, every single one.
This is why you got to tune into the prelims, guys. You never know. You might see back-to-back women's knockouts. You never know, so. Tune in, otherwise you could be missing it. And then you might end up watching a boring main card and then feel like you just wasted multiple hours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at not to hate on the full main card, but look at the pay-per-view last week, everyone buying hyped up for Alex Pereira and Mega Man Goliath, and then
ended up being a bit of a snooze fest. You could say that.
But yeah, we again take another L. We're now 0-2 on the women.
I was a little worried. Yeah, we're cursing every woman we pick with the freaking getting slept. I'm like, oh my god,
not off. It doesn't stop there. But we'll get into that later. But we do then have Daniel Perez versus Andre Lima, and this fight, more specifically, Andre Lima. Man, this guy. So. Andre Lima defeats Daniel Perez by submission, rear naked choke in round 3. So Lima dominated every single round. I mean, every round. From 1, 2 to 3, he dominated. He did so good at beating up the body, the legs, the head, back and forth. Every single place he was touching, it didn't matter. It was like nonstop. When he put his guard up, right to the body. You drop that, he's kicking the legs, he's going to the head. Adding in combinations, and then he at one point I thought, man, he's going to end up, Perez is going to just quit and he's going to get a knockout. But no, he did not. Actually, things got taken to the ground. And, he locked in that rear naked choke in round 3 and got the submission. And this is his first ever submission win. So shout out to him. But I cannot express how good Andre Lima looked. This kid was, coming in his debut and got bit.
Yeah.
He got bit.
He'll never forget that.
And then got it tattooed on his body.
Literally never will forget.
Yeah. I mean, he had a weird start to the UFC, but since then, I believe he's been undefeated. And undefeated.
4-0 in the UFC now.
Yeah. He looks every bit of what you would want a prospect to look like. There's 2 guys on this card that I am highly, highly, highly impressed with. And he's one of them. The other's on a main card. He's one of them here.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, dude. Not much more you can say besides what a dominant performance, dude. He landed 108 significant strikes with 67% accuracy, dude. It's like when you're landing almost 70% of your significant strikes, it's going to be a good day for you. And to add on that, he also had almost 5 minutes of control time. So I'm like, it was just a bad night for Perez all around, dude. I felt bad for the dude.
Yeah.
He's a freaking tough cookie because I don't know how it lasted that long, dude. It was like straight beating, start to finish. Lima landed 47 strikes in round 1 and then 56 the next round. So I'm like, in 2 rounds, he already had over 100 strikes landed on him. And it was just absolute beating. Perez only landed 33 significant strikes, so he over tripled up his strike total. So Lima's the real deal, and like you said, undefeated, 4-0 in the UFC, dude. It's gonna be tough for whoever's fighting him. He's the real deal. Perez was someone who is not the best prospect, but he's a little bit old for a prospect who recently just got in the UFC, but this is a somewhat decent test, and Lima passed it with flying colors. Absolutely, by far the best we've seen him look. And get him a next fighter immediately. He basically took no damage. Yeah, and his hands might be sore, if anything, from that beating and his leg.
There's potential that he will be in the top 15.
Yeah,
if not,
get him someone. Yeah.
Because
100%, wow. He deserves it. It's like you can't triple up someone and submit them, triple up the strikes and submit them, and not get a top 15 guy when they're actually not some complete scrub.
And everyone's talking about him, so I do think UFC is going to probably give him someone bigger because
capitalize on the hype.
He just looks so good. So shout out to him. Definitely, if I had to pick 2 fighters that were my top best, performances of the night here. He's one of them, and he did get a performance bonus. So he was the other one, the third one. There's one more, but he was the third to get a performance bonus here on the prelims. Then we move on to another women's fight, and as you can see, we got it wrong. So we are now 1-3.
We're cursing, dude.
This fight was interesting, though. So Sam Hughes versus Stephanie Luciano. I'll talk about the fight before the decision. So I thought that Sam Hughes did more damage the entire time. Round 1, 2, and 3. She really didn't let Luciana get anything huge off on the feet. She was more so initiating the grappling exchanges, especially when she was on the ground. She was the more dominant when she was on top, et cetera, et cetera. But we go to decision, and it was a split decision, 29-28 all, but a split decision for Sam Hughes' win. I know it's like kind of not as bad as some other decisions, but I thought she should have won unanimously. I was like, I didn't see, even though I picked Luciano, I did not see a world where she could have possibly won this fight, at least, especially won 2 rounds in this fight. No way. I thought Sam Hughes dominated all 3, let alone 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was definitely shocked to see the split decision. I think that maybe Luciano looked a little better on the feet, maybe, but not really. It's like landed a little bit more, but was way less accurate. And yeah, I think that Sam Hughes showed that she was controlling the fight pretty much the whole time. And yeah, I think that Hughes, man, dude, she's a tough fighter. It's like right when you think she might be going away, it might be time for her to exit the UFC. She freaking goes on a little streak, dude. Two wins in a row. She's now won 3 out of her last 4. So hey, shout out to Sam Hughes, dude. Luciano is not super experienced and still is not super experienced, but I mean, I freaking picked her to win, so I was clearly feeling somewhat good about her coming in. I thought she'd be able to get it done, but Hughes showed, dude, there's levels to this in the UFC. And if you want to stick around for as long as she has, you got to be freaking well-rounded and tough in there, because Sam was just a little bit tougher and a little bit more well-rounded and got it done.
Yeah, and as far as we go, we apparently cannot pick women's MMA. This was the last women's MMA fight on the card. Confirmed. And we went 0-3 on the women this week. Yikes. Not good. Yeah. Not a good time.
And they were all finishes. I don't know. This one wasn't a finish, but 2 out of the 3 were finishes. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it didn't look so hot for us. I will say, I did bet this week. I did not win my bet this week because one of my bets had Dubin on it because she was undefeated, but she was an underdog. So I threw her on there, and she lost it for me. So thanks.
Yeah, dude. I know. I had like a few bucks on it too. I'm like, I feel like she could get the knockout here. I'm like, Judas could hit a lot. Oh, let's see it. Nah.
Yeah, not a good time. But yeah, Sam Hughes, do I think she'll ever be champion? No.
No.
To be playing.
A good little gatekeeper to see if you're UFC caliber. Yes.
Great gatekeeper. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. So shout out to her again. Solid win there. But we are now 1-3. Not looking too hot for us.
We started out absolutely shit. It doesn't get much better.
Yeah, especially because we move on to the next one where Josiah Musasa was coming in also undefeated.
The biggest favorite on the card.
Yeah, biggest favorite on the card. I should have bet on just Carlos Vera, and that's it.
Yeah.
So Carlos Vera, this was insane. This was crazy. The finish was what the fuck. So this ended in round 1. Just crazy. I mean, he landed a head kick in the early goings of round 1 that Musasa ate. He ate it.
Yeah.
It was fine. And then he landed a second head kick that wobbled him. He kind of dropped to a knee, and Vera just jumped right on his back, took the neck, and got a rear naked choke submission. It's also like head hunting, and it seemed like his ground game lacked for that. He was every time he would get. This was 1 round, but it felt long as shit because every time he would get Vera down, he would not go to the ground with him. He'd either step back or stand up, put his hands on his hips and say, come on, get up. So, I mean, I don't blame him, obviously, because Vera is great on the ground, but you got to have some sort of ground game because this is what will happen. You got knocked down, he took your back, and it was done right there. He had nothing for the choke. Obviously, I don't know how hard the head kick hurt him. He was probably a little bit out of it already. But, just a crazy finish. The way he's perfectly flowed from head kick to rear naked choke was just like, holy shit, this guy, damn, he looked good. No bonus, but he looked good. Actually, you know what? He did get a bonus. He was the 4th bonus.
Oh,
so that was it. There was no fight of the night. It was just these 4 performance bonuses, and that's who got it.
It's so weird, dude.
First 2 women, Lima and Vera. But yeah, great showing from Vera to, again, undefeated prospect, the biggest underdog on the card, and he more so made it look easy.
Yeah, dude. He looked amazing. And for his age, too, he's like 37. I'm like, I was definitely a little bit writing him off. I'm like, this guy's came in a little late to the UFC. He's probably going to lose here. I had Musasa winning, as you guys can see. And, man, boy, did he prove me wrong. He looked amazing, dude. That first one, I don't know how that wasn't a finish right then and there. That was absolutely nasty. So Musasa has a little bit of a chin, but not the best after that second one. But yeah.
Hey, you take 2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
big.
good. And not being slept. I mean, hey. Yeah, so.
Yeah, he ended up getting choked out. He didn't go to sleep. So.
Yeah. Vera showed that he's not just a ground guy. He has some crazy striking too. And yeah, it's crazy seeing someone this old coming in, 37 years old, coming into the UFC. Starts out 0-1. I'm like, all right, this guy might not be his time. And then he comes in and does that versus the biggest favorite on the entire card. I'm like, oh, I might need to rethink how I do these picks. Seriously, dude. Yeah. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I want Musasa's too. I mean, coming in undefeated, 6-0, look good previous fights. And then all of a sudden, he just gets choked out like immediately. Like, what the fuck? Like, what does that happen?
Get styled on for real, dude.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely styled on.
But, I mean, again, another quick finish. Not much to talk about. I mean,
Musasa another round 1.
He would take him down, like, get a trip, and then, back up, let him up.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have went on the ground with him because maybe he wouldn't have got his head kicked off.
Yeah.
But, yeah, again, we are now 1-4. Not looking so good for us.
Bro, we started out complete shit, dude. Like, we could not pick one right. Lima, thank God, freaking clutched and put on a masterclass. But everyone else, we were cursing with getting finished or getting destroyed.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Except for our next one.
We reversed the curse.
Yeah. Su Young Yu versus AJ Cunningham. Not you, but you. He looked good. He looked really good. He won via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. Dominant. I thought he won all 3 rounds, and then clearly so did the judges. He beat AJ up. He bloodied him. He barely took any damage. Just in the striking and then on the ground, which I thought Cunningham would have maybe more of a presence on the ground than he did, but he was too worried about I don't know. He was on the bottom and couldn't get up from the bottom. And it felt like the only thing he could do was try to reverse position from the bottom, and it was failing every time instead of actually get up. And he just got beat up. He got elbowed. He got cut beside the eye. And, yeah, I wrote down here that I would not be surprised if AJ was let go, if he was cut.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it might be best for him right now.
Yeah.
We've seen him, unfortunately, lose in the Contender Series, losing that crazy debut against Ludovic Klein, 2 weight classes up. UFC is like, hey, dude, you want to get your ass beat for $3,000? He's like, shit, say less. So he went up, showed survived at least 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but not long. Ludovic Klein, way out of his league in terms of skill. So respect 100%. For even taking that fight. And then, unfortunately, just wasn't able to do enough in this fight. Never really got going. Pretty much, not really UFC caliber after that performance. Su Young Yu, I'm interested to see what he does next. I think now 2-0 in the UFC. He won road to UFC. So, man, he's getting a lot of momentum here. I don't know if he's like the best prospect I've ever seen, for sure. Not the best, but hey, you can only fight who they put in front of you. So he's doing good with what he's got.
Yeah, I agree. And then Cunningham went on Instagram afterwards and said that he felt like this was karma because he always made fun of fighters for saying they got in there and they just didn't feel on. And he was like, oh, what does that mean? That doesn't even make sense. Screw you, da-da-da. But he said he went in there and he just didn't feel on. He said now he understands what that means. He couldn't get any strikes off. He felt like his grappling just wasn't doing anything. And, yeah, he said he knows exactly how that feels now, and it was karma that he made fun of other fighters, and now he lost by the same way. So, yeah, karma is crazy because you're probably not going to be coming back to the UFC anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I think he's probably go back regional scene, get some wins going. He's definitely not like an awful fighter, but definitely just not UFC caliber.
Yes, we do. Hi. But yeah, we both picked Su Yung, so there we go. 2-4, looking good.
So finally got back in the win column.
And then
this next fight, this might have broke Brady's heart.
We head to our prelim headliner, which the heavyweights, Ryan Spann moving up from light heavyweight to heavyweight. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ryan Spann, and this one was another short one, but at least it went past round one. So round one, both guys were throwing heat. I mean, coming out the gate, they were fresh, they weren't tired, and they were both throwing.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody was going to sleep. I thought maybe the first round somebody was going to sleep. It didn't happen though. But we went to round two. We did have some fouls in the early going. There was an eye poke, which was it wasn't really an eye poke. It was kind of his knuckle. And then we had a nut shot, both from Acosta, by the way. And then Spann started to slow down clearly and he got dropped with the right hand and then put out. Brian Spann. At one point, I had this guy as a potential future champion.
I mean, I don't blame you.
A couple months, not months, but year ago or so, a little over a year ago. He was doing good. He was knocking people out. He looked good.
Slept Cruz. I mean, slept Dominic Reyes. Oh my God. That one was
now all of a sudden, he's the one being knocked out. And again, like Cunningham, I wouldn't be surprised if he was cut, which is insane to say. Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to feel bad for the guy. He has all the natural ability in the world. I think it's just a little bit, I don't know if it's just because he's had some losses, some bad finishes, but he seems like his mental's not there. They were talking about that a little bit on the commentary, how he's talking about how he put too much pressure on himself. But I'm like, I mean, you're probably going to have a lot of pressure on yourself, bro. It's UFC. It's like, it's kind of a part of it. It's like you got to adjust to it. Otherwise, I don't know if you're going to be able to take it at the best of the best, unfortunately. And yeah, it's just sad to see where he had so much promise coming in. Started out like 4-0 in UFC. Had a few losses. Then he freaking lost to Anthony Smith once. And then he got some more wins. And I was like, all right, he's looking good again. And then lost to Krylov. And then he lost to Anthony Smith again. I remember me and you were talking about that. We're like, no way, bro. Anthony Smith beat him again. And then he freaking got matched up against a killer and Bogdan Guskov. Got finished, unfortunately. Got a win against OSP, who's a legend, but pretty freaking old at this point. Yeah. And then now, back on another L against Waldo. So, now 1-4 in his last 5. So I think he might need to go down, maybe even retire. I mean, he's 33 years old. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back to the top of the top. Yeah, for real. GFL. For real. So maybe he could make some money before he retires elsewhere. But, I do think UFC-wise, I don't think he's ever going to be at the top of the top. And it sucks to see because he's a really fun and entertaining fighter. Always is going for finishes or getting finished, unfortunately, in this case. But yeah, shout out to Ryan Spann and shout out Waldo, man. Waldo is one of those heavyweights, so I think he could be a major, maybe not championship guy, but is going to be one of those guys that's going to be in the rankings for a decent amount of time. Giving him his best shot against the best in the world, because I think he's ready for that now, and I'm interested to see how he does in his first ever real ranked heavyweight real test.
Yeah, me too. Should be next. I mean, this guy came in on Contender Series. Was he Contender Series guy? Yeah, Contender Series. And then he was a baseball guy. He was a pitcher. They talked up how he has this powerful pitching hand, but translating it into a punching hand. And I guess it's true. It's true.
Seriously.
Put out Ryan Spann here, and I obviously, as you can see, pick Spann. You did not. You went with Acosta, and I am now 2-5 while you're 3-4 on our predictions on the prelims.
Thank God. I was just a little worried about Spann. Unfortunately, he proved me right, but yeah. I still think hope he's doing okay mentally. That's kind of where I'm at with him. Hopefully he's just doing okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as Jalen Turner last week. So
yeah, where it's they have all the talent in the world, but it's just in fighting, it's really a mental game where if you're not there 100%, it's it's going to take a toll on you. It's you got to be there 100% to want to go fight and get punched in the face, potentially your arm snapped willingly over and over, year after year. It does take a toll on these fighters, and especially when you're not getting the wins that you expect. So yeah, hate to see it.
Yeah. We do move on to our main card here, and this was fun main card. We kick off with an L for me, of course, on the main card. Sungwoo Choi versus Kevin Vatios. So I will say this. I expected Choi to wrestle his way to a win. I thought this would be a decision win for Choi. He didn't wrestle. He decided to strike, and he got outstruck and TKO'd in the first round. I don't know why he didn't just go for the wrestling, especially against Kevin, who's, more of a power puncher.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well. He got finished in the first round. Quick and easy. Kevin looked good. That was it, really.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I freaking went to the bathroom and I came back and the fight was over. I'm like, oh my God. I freaking missed it. At least we have instant replay. But yeah, dude. I mean,
the fight wasn't that long, so.
Yeah, exactly. It's what a performance from Kevin. His only loss, they talked about this on the broadcast, obviously, only loss to our boy Gene Silva, one of the 4 fighting nerds that have really been crushing it. He called him out, wants to get the rematch. Yep. I don't know if that's next right now, just because Silva obviously has an opponent in Bryce Mitchell he has to get through. But maybe if Kevin gets another win in between that, we could maybe see him matched up, because
to be honest,
all he needs is a big win.
Kevin needs Silva to lose. Because if he wins against Bryce Mitchell, I think he'll get someone
even
ranked
up,
pretty high, and then eventually towards the title.
I agree 100%. He's going to be chasing him for a while unless Silva slips up for sure, I think. So, but I feel like that might give them a reason to rush Kevin, but we'll see. I think he's probably ready for a pretty tough test, but we'll see. Choi has been having a little bit of a tough time lately. He's now 2 L's in a row. He's only won 1 of his last 6 fights, so he's 1-5 in his last 6. So Choi might need to be back on the regional scene as well, unfortunately. He's now 4-7 in the UFC, not the best record. He has a lot more UFC fights than I even realized. I'm like, damn, this guy's kind of a veteran at this point. But yeah, so he's now 11-8 as a professional. So yeah, I feel like maybe not quite top of the top level. But yeah, sometimes it just happens, dude. It's tough fighting these best of the best fighters all the time. And Kevin, one of those up and coming guys who could be a very special prospect if he keeps us going.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Kevin looked good. He said on his social media that he was going to finish him, and he did. So First round TKO, he got it done. I did not, though, because I picked Choi, but you picked Kevin, so you're on a roll so far. But
this one.
I did take one. The next one, Brenson Roberto versus Dayar Nurgazav. How the fuck you say his last name? You can rate
Mr. it there. Freaking missing weight.
Yeah. And also another undefeated fighter who lost.
Yeah.
This card saw some undefeated fighters get their O's taken. But, man, Ribeiro looked good, though. He dominated round 1. Much of the same in 2. They ended up on the ground with Dyer on top. Ribeiro locks in a freaking Kimura from the bottom, uses it to reverse the position to where he's on top, but doesn't let go of the Kimura. And pulls it off, gets the finish via Kimura submission, round 2. Really, really, really good technique from Ribeiro here. And it's been quite a while since we had a Kimura finish, and he got one here. So, look good, Brenson.
Yeah,
dude.
Good. Shout out to him, dude. Punishing the weight miss. I was wondering if he's even going to take the fight. That's honestly part of why I picked Dayar, I guess. Nurgazai. Nurgazai. I'm just gonna go with that. Nurgazai. Yeah, dude. I thought he was gonna. It looked like he missed weight by like 5 pounds. He looked like he didn't even try, dude. I'm like, this dude is probably not even giving an F, just coming in here to get the win. But Branson said, "Nah, bro. It's the UFC, bro. You got to take this seriously. Do not underestimate anybody." And he freaking subbed him. Crazy, dude. Ribeiro now 2-2 in the UFC, showing that he does deserve his spot. He started out 0-2. I was kind of wondering if this guy's going to be out of the UFC soon. And he freaking bounces back, gets a split decision in his last fight. And then in this one, gets the freaking finish. So, and he's only 28, so hey, there's lots of time for him to potentially get some more fights and maybe get a win streak going.
Yeah, I agree. He looked good. We'll see. I don't know what's up next for Dayar.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Dayar, we're not sure if he even is UFC caliber after that performance. So we're not sure if that was Ribeiro looking good or Dayar looking like shit. So
yeah. But, hey, I got that one. You didn't. I'll take it. I got one.
You got me. One. The weight bully gets bullied.
We then move on to Damon Blackshear versus Cody Gibson. Damon Blackshear, submission specialist, man. He got it again. This was a grapple-heavy bout. Damon is just so nasty on the ground. He ended round 1 on the ground and pound and busted Cody's face up a bit. Round 2, more grappling, but Damon snatches the arm, lands a Kimura finish, and we got 2 Kimuras back-to-back, both in the second round, and this is the first time since 2010. Now,
what is up with these back-to-back?
I did this last week, and I'm going to do it again. So I have a bit of a cold, and that's why I keep drinking water. I got to pee again. So while I go pee, you talk about how great Damon Blackshear is because he got the twister. They took that picture of the 3 doing the twister, and then he gets a big submission again tonight.
Hey, no worries, Brady. Duty calls. Business is business. All right, guys. We're going to start a timer. Let's see how long he takes. I'm over under how long he takes to pee. I'm going over 2 minutes. All right. I'm keeping an eye on the clock. But, yeah. Blackshear gets it done against Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson, I don't know if you guys watch Tough anymore, but he was on Tough a few years back. Was able to make his way back to the UFC. And ever since, he's been honestly a little bit hit and miss. He didn't even win Tough, but he was able to get a contract. Lost against Miles Johns. Came back, beat Brian Kelleher, and then beat Chad Anhelinger. And those 2 low-key rhyme the names. Then he matches up against Damon Blackshear. And I'm thinking low-key at the start of this fight, Gibson was honestly looking pretty good. Blackshear started out kind of slow and almost got freaking finished at the beginning of the fight, and then he kind of locks in. You could tell he kind of got freaking bum rushed at the beginning, and then Cody kind of starts to slow down a bit. I feel like he almost came out a little too hard, and then eventually gets finished. And Damon Blackshear, one of those guys who I was a little worried about him. He's only 4-3-1 in the UFC, still a positive record, but is 50-50 if he gets a win. But now he's won 2 in a row against Cody Stamann and now Cody Gibson. Keep Cody's away from this guy. But yeah, I'm interested to see where he does next. He does have those 3 losses in the UFC, so he's already lost to Montel Jackson once, who we've seen is now 8-2 in the UFC. He's a solid prospect. And then he also lost to everyone's favorite fighter, Mario Batista. So, I mean, hey, maybe he'll get some wins and he'll be able to get revenge against everyone's least favorite fighter who got that Jose Aldo win. Let's not forget. But, yeah, who should Damon Blackshear fight next after this? It's tough, dude. There's a lot of good fighters at 135. But, I mean, he's proven that he's one of those good fighters. Hey, Brady's back. All right, we're sitting at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Brady. Pretty quick. Not bad.
I had to run all the way. I had to run up 2 flights of steps, all the way up to the top, all the way back down.
This is why he's the best co-host, guys. He freaking sprints for this shit.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Okay.
But yeah, we were just I was just talking about Damon Blackshear and Gibson a little bit, and I'm like, who should even fight next? I'm like, I remember me and Brady interviewed Brady Highstand once, and he was gonna fight Damon Blackshear, but then that fight fell through. So hey, maybe they run that back. I'd love to see it. Shout out to Brady Highstand, tough alum.
Should be back soon too.
Recovering from that knee injury, but he's coming back soon. And but hey, if Cody Gibson is anything to go off it, tough guys don't do so well against Damon. So we'll see.
Yeah, Damon looked good. So shout out to him, and we both picked him. So there we go.
We're finally getting some wins, bro.
Yeah, both 2 wins on the main card so far, and we get another one here with Alex Hernandez versus Kurt Hollowball. This was a solid fight. Both look very fat on the feet and with the hands. I thought Kurt actually looked pretty. They kept saying that Hernandez looked faster, but I actually thought, I don't know. I thought Hollowball's hands looked super fast, especially in the first round. I was like, I don't know about that. His hands are fast. He was landing great combinations that Alex wasn't even seeing coming. But it was the wrestling that made the difference. Hernandez did say he hurt his arm in the first round.
Yeah.
And, he had to go wrestle heavy, and he kind of apologized, even though it was a good fight. He had to apologize. Hollowball has a good ground game, but he just couldn't do anything from the bottom at all. He could not get up. He couldn't reverse position. He couldn't do anything. And Hernandez kind of took it. And it was 30-27 and then 29-28, 29-28 on the scorecards for Alex Hernandez, getting the unanimous decision win here, and look good. Both look good, I thought. I thought this was a fun fight, decent fight.
Yeah, totally. I think Alex, he's one of those fighters where he kind of bit himself in the ass a little bit early in his career, talking shit about Cowboy Cerrone back in 2019, and ended up taking a big L. And then ever since then, he's kind of been shit on a little bit by fans for kind of being mid. He's kind of a win-loss fighter, but he's now won back-to-back fights. So I feel like he's one of those guys who is good enough to stick around for a while, and he's already been around for a while. He's 32 now. As crazy as that is. So he's officially a veteran. So he's now 8-7 in the UFC. He's one of those guys. I'm always looking to see if he's going to improve, if he's going to get worse. And right now, I feel like he's still getting better, and I think that's really important for somebody who's been around as long as he has. And I know I saw him his post-fight media, he was talking about he hurt his neck coming into this, so he couldn't even train fully. So he's probably going to have to get his neck figured out. He said he's probably going to do what Rose Namajunas did to rehab her neck back when she got freaking slammed on her head. When Rose, or not Rose, Andrade did that. So, so hopefully his neck is okay. That's definitely nothing to joke about. And yeah, it's crazy that he was able to get the win like that after battling an injury like that. So major respect to Alex Hernandez.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard all about veteran. He's pretty old now, but he's always going to be game.
Yeah, always. And he has his own gym and he teaches. He knows what he's doing, but just couldn't get past the wrestling of Alex here. And we both picked Alex, so there we go.
Hey, we got it. Let's go.
Both got 3 on the main card thus far, and then you take the lead here as
this was
head into the co-main event. Chidi and Njokuani versus Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. Fun. This was Capoeira versus kickboxing Muay Thai. And wow. Chidi did so well with the kicks. The low kicks, the body teep kicks. He just kept Santos at a distance the entire time and frustrated him with the kicks in round 1. Yeah. Round 2, much of the same. He's poking out the jab, kick, keeping him at a distance. And Njokuani's so long, so he throws that teep kick to the stomach or to the solar plexus, and you're like, you're back. There's not much you can do. But it helped him because it baited Santos to be like, oh, I need to get in on this guy. I need to come in close. I need to try and clinch. And he tried. But when he tried to come in and clinch in the second round, he got closer, and Chidi put a knee right up the middle, knocked him down with a nasty knee, and then he finished him with some elbows on the ground and pound. Chidi and Njokuani, second round TKO, gets the win. This is when I said that Lima was one of the guys who I was impressed with. The other guy was Chidi. He is now undefeated at this weight, looking damn good.
170, I think, might be his weight class because, dude, looking amazing. That range is just unreal. Like you said, he can basically be standing mid-octagon and hit you with a teep kick when you're on the cage, especially in the Apex.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous how lanky he is for that division. And, dude, that knee was just nasty. It's like he threw one, and it was like a body knee, and then he threw in another one. It was like back-to-back knees in that clinch. Body, head, oh my God. That second one got him right as he was exiting out, right on the chin. I'm like, oh my God, you cannot get much more perfect in terms of a knockout blow from a knee at that angle. Like, it was just insane. And it was just a Muay Thai masterclass like we were talking about. And Chidi now, after suffering the 3 L's in a row, he moves down a weight class. Now is 3 wins in a row. So, hey, I think that weight class change was a major positive step for his career. Because, now he's 5-3 in the UFC.
If you're a fighter and you want to learn good Muay Thai, maybe go ask Chidi to teach you because he was on point today. Like, it was perfect. Genuinely.
Especially if you're a lanky fighter, dude. He's got that length on him. But for real, Kevin Holland needs to try training with this guy for real, though.
Yeah,
learn a thing or two or how to actually use the length.
Dos Santos is great at Capoeira too, but it just was no match today. I did go with Dos Santos. You did not. You went with Njokuani, and you got the win here, which solidified your dub because
thank goodness.
Because we
I also bet on Chidi too, so
we could have tied. We almost tied.
Yeah, literally, bro.
If I would have won this, we would have tied. But
yeah,
we did not because you won this, and we both lost the main event.
Yeah.
I knew it was over when Marvin Vettori came out for his entrance and forgot his cup. The damn guy forgot his cup, Marvin. Had to run back. He made his entrance and then had to go back and get his fucking cup. What's up with this guy? I don't know. Something wrong with him. First the shorts backwards. Now he forgets his cup. He's insane.
Something might be a little absent-minded.
100% something wrong with that guy. But First thing I wrote was Marvin's tough, and he is. This guy can take a hit. It's hard. Marvin Vettori might be one of the hardest guys to finish because this guy's just going to get hit. It doesn't matter if he's a punching bag or if he's giving you a competitive fight. You ain't finishing this guy.
Yeah, never been finished, bro. Insane.
Yeah.
He fought some of the toughest, most dangerous fighters. Never been finished.
Peak Adesanya.
Bro, Whitaker, Cannonier.
Dolidze twice. I mean, Jesus Christ.
For real, bro. I'm like, lots of dangerous guys, dude.
This guy, both these guys threw bombs back and forth and landed some big shots the entire time. Early in the fight, though, and this is what we mostly need to talk about here. Marvin was poked twice in the eye.
Yeah.
First time, referee gave Dolidze a hard warning. Second time, he gave him a hard warning. What?
So it's like 10th time he gave him a hard warning for real.
Yeah, it makes no sense because no point was taken, despite him saying it would be taken after the first time, and then after the first time, it still wasn't taken, and now we're looking at a decision where it was 49-46 between all three rounds, unanimous decision. But if Marvin would have got a point there, we're looking at a possible draw. Yeah. We're looking at a possible Marvin win. But it doesn't happen because I don't understand. What's up with this? We talk about it. And it sucks that it's in the main events, and it sucks that it's in the big fights for the past couple weeks with the eye pokes, first starting the Song Yadong fight, and then we go on to the there was another fight the next week that I'm blanking on, and then it's always something with these referees and judges. Like, I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand this because the referee literally told him, this is a hard warning. Next time you're getting a point. Then he does it again, and he says, this is also a hard warning. Well, I thought the first one was a hard warning, and this one was a point. And now the second one is also a hard warning. Is it going to be an extra hard warning if he did it a third time? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
They're like, we're taking half a point next time.
Yeah, I don't get it. I genuinely do not understand this.
And then they'll be telling them, they're like, have your hands straight up. I'm like, bro, well, when they make a fist, it's going to go like this. I'm like, it's going to go down. I'm like, in order to close their hand, it's going to cross that illegal area if you want them to have it up. So I'm like, just have them have their hands down. I'm like, how about that?
Yeah.
I'm like, for real, dude. I'm like, how about either close your hand or literally close your fingers? I'm like, both. It's like, there just needs to be much better, clear instruction from the referee of effective ways to not do it. It's like, bro, put your hands up. I'm like, dude, that is the stupidest thing ever. My hand naturally wants to point out. So if I'm going up, it's going to go down eventually, naturally. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, you don't feel like that.
Instruction. I'm like, bro, just close your fucking hands, dude. It's not that hard. I saw Roman was saying, he was apologizing after in the post-fight media. He was like, even when he was telling me, he's like, oops, I accidentally forgot. And then he closed his fist. I'm like, bro, maybe that should just be a rule all the time. So you actually don't accidentally do it. I'm like, bro. He's like, I wasn't meaning to do it. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, how much times does he have to tell you before you don't do it, dude? I'm like, oh my God. So I do think it was an accident. But I do think it's extremely annoying when that happens so much and there's no punishment. It's like, yeah, we understand you're not doing it on purpose, but you're still doing it. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it could greatly affect the fight.
Yeah, it could literally blind someone. Like, come on.
So it's just, but no point was taken. Roman Dolidze did get the win. He did get the unanimous decision win over Marvin Vettori. Poor Vettori, man. This guy's.
Yeah, it's like besides that eye poke, he honestly with Dolidze looked pretty good. I was expecting Dolidze to maybe gas out. I do not believe. Okay, no, he's only went 5 rounds one time and he lost to Imavov. So I was a little wondering if he's going to be able to keep up with the gas tank against someone like Marvin, who's been 5 rounds many times with not much issues. So. He really impressed me with his cardio, and I think if anything, Marvin might have been gassing out even more than him. And Yeah, those kicks from Dolidze really impressed me, where he was breaking down Marvin's guard slowly but surely, where in the last round he was able to connect that crazy head kick, and Marvin was showing off his ridiculous iron chin as usual, where he somehow was able to take these shots over and over again and not get finished. So Marvin continues to be the most insanely durable fighter, but it's not able to quite get the do enough to get the win here. Durability is not going to win you a fight, unfortunately. And Roman back in the win column. I like his call-outs. It was Adesanya, and then who else did he call out? Strickland? I can't remember.
Whitaker,
yeah. I feel like both of those fights are definitely plausible, and I honestly like to see both of them. That's good for both of them, where they're both – Whitaker's coming off that brutal loss to Khamzat, and then Israel Adesanya obviously is coming off that knockout, so – I don't know if he'll want to fight somebody who's kind of a heavy-handed guy like Roman, but I do think he'd have the skill advantage on the feet for sure. And you just have to be careful not to get chinned again. But, yeah, those are both really intriguing fights to me. Even Whitaker, I think, would definitely be a much smaller fighter in there. But I think the skills and speed would be much better. So it would be an interesting matchup just to see how they cancel each other out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at either. Especially Adesanya coming off of a loss to Imavov.
Yeah, someone who's
lost to.
Yeah, exactly.
Khamzat. Either or, could help them or could,
could just show that Dolidze is ready for the top of the top if he's able to beat them.
Exactly. But we both went with Vettori here. We both lost. We both ended. Not the best, but you had at least a positive record of 7-6, while I had a record of 5-8.
Yeah, it was not our best.
This made me fall down a bit because now you have 60 wins, while I only have 51. Not looking too good for me here. I need a big week.
Yeah, all it takes is a few bad weeks for me, dude. It very easily could have been worse if. Some of these other fights didn't go my way, so it was there was a lot of upsets, honestly. I did not see all those upsets. Yeah. But, dude, what a fun card.
Yeah, and we do have another coming up. Back,
now this is what I call a card here.
We have UFC.
Brady's fighting. Wait a minute.
Fight night. I'm fighting Leon Edwards. Just kidding. It is my
Edwards don't want that smoke.
My Pennsylvania native brother, though, Sean Brady. This is in London. So the main card starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's gonna be an early
over here in the States. Obviously, as you can see, the headliner, Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady, number 5 versus number 1. Possibly winner gets next title shot. That's what Leon Edwards said. We'll see. We then have an
underdog. Event. Very interesting.
He is. We do have a fun co-main event. Also could be a contender fight. Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Holberg, 3 versus 6. We then have Kevin Holland back, but against Gunnar Nelson. This should be a fun one.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm liking it.
We then have Molly McCann versus Alexia Dianara, but I'm pretty sure she got replaced. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Molly McCann has a different opponent.
I think I did hear that. I can't remember who.
Jordan Vanesic versus Chris Duncan. They kind of look the same.
Dude, yeah. One of them has a little bit more ink.
More tattoos. A little weird.
I remember him.
Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Schreier. That's going to be a fun fight.
For real, this whole card is impressing me.
Yeah, we then have prelims kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chris Padilla versus Jai Herbert. This should be not the headliner. That's going to be rough. We have Hunter Kavanaugh versus Felipe Dos Santos. This should be solid.
Yeah, this will be a good one. I like Kavanaugh.
Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. Should be a
nice little heavyweight. Big boys, ranked heavyweights.
We then have Chris Leroy Duncan versus Andrei Poliev. We then have Shauna Benon versus Pooja Tamar. We then have Nathan Fletcher versus Golan Logran. And then we kick it off with Kone Fernandez versus Garam Kutiladze.
Kutiladze. I remember, bro.
I just know him because he looks like the co-host on Ariel Helwani show. He does.
Bro, he does. The evil variant and like scary version. For real, dude. Dude, at one point Guam was like really hyped up, like one of the best lightweights up and coming, like slept on guys. Unfortunately, had a little bit of I think it was like an injury or health issue. I can't remember, but I'm glad he's back. It's crazy he's opening a card now, so I'm super excited for that one. Stacked top to bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, should be fun. I like it. Edwards, Brady, should be a good time. Like both of them, so we'll see what the predictions are next week because
tune in.
It's going to be close, but that was it for our UFC Vegas 104 review. It was a solid show overall. Some fun finishes, some good prospects. This is why you got to tune into these cards because you never know. You'll either get a fun prospect or you get an undefeated prospect who loses, and you might not see him for a little while. So
totally, it's definitely worth checking out. Where it's like they may not be the biggest names, but the entertainment value. You never know with MMA how entertaining it's going to be. It's like, okay, they may not be the highest ranked, but they may be more entertaining than a high-ranked fighter, you know? So it's more about that than just about name value.
And with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 9 finishes on this card.
Sheesh.
How was it not in front of a crowd?
I know.
I do not know.
This one is. This next one is.
Yeah, and them UK are going to be wild. So should be a good time. Fingers crossed. 100%. Again, prelims 1 p.m. prelims Eastern Standard Time, and then the main card 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be back next Sunday to go through it all. Hopefully, I can get rid of this cold by then because it sucks. But we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow wherever you're at. Right here for me, under his picture for Max. And Bodyslam Net MMA on X. We'll live tweet. We post our predictions beforehand and all that stuff. We've been getting better at actually posting them, so we are.
Yeah.
You can see what we pick.
Hold us accountable.
Follow along.
What else do I pick if we do that? Or, be like, you guys are the best pickers ever when we do good.
Yeah, exactly. I take your betting advice and I win. You're welcome.
Not financial advice.
No, not at all. But yeah, thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you next week. Peace.